Assassin's Creed Shadows is one of those games that maybe you played and you didn't like, or maybe you played and you love it. It's a mixed bag, but I think it's a good game. And if I think it's a good game, you should probably think it's a good game. But I'm gonna see what my guys think. We got K. the God.
What's good? What's great? What's golly, y'all?
And then we got Nug from Yo Nug Gaming.
What's up, y'all?
And of course, it's me, Sayran. So let's get into it. All right, so fellas, I've been playing Assassin's Creed. You've been playing Assassin's Creed. You guys actually got it earlier than me, and I was a little salty about that. I think y'all got some drip from Ubisoft as well, but I'm gonna let it go. When we look at Assassin's Creed Shadows, what was like your favorite part? What stood out to you, like compared to other Assassin's Creed games? I know, Nug, you play like a lot of Assassin's Creed, right? Have you played like all of them?
Yeah, pretty much all of them. To me, it kind of scratched that itch that I thought it would growing up as a kid. I think that Assassin's Creed is in a different place right now because they're going into the RPG realm. So I feel like this was a great mix between the RPG bag and the old Assassin's Creed bag in a fun Japan setting.
For me, you asked what stood out. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Being able to see a black man in the Assassin's Creed game that's not just a slave. He's actually some type of he has some type of power. Is actually a fire representation of somebody. Of me, I'm like, okay, I like that. And on top of that, Japan is booming right now. So if you like anime, you like gaming, you like any type of platform, bro, you're gonna see anime, you're gonna see Japan or feudal Japan or something about it. So they hitting it. And somebody that played the last 5 games, hell yeah, that's the best Assassin's Creed game that came out since Black Flag.
Yeah, I'm gonna double with that. I think this is the best one I've played in over a decade, probably since Black Flag, but it's definitely by far the best. And out of all the RPG games, it's easily the best. So the RPG games are Origins, Valhalla, Odyssey. Out of all of those, since they've rebranded to that format, this is clearly the best.
I know we got like open world fatigue, but this open world is really, really good. Like one of the main things that stood out to me is the sound design. Like you'll hear like birds off in the distance, and like I got these nice headphones. Shout out to Corsair. I got these Virtual Maxes, but hearing the game in my headphones and like it was a whole nother level of immersion. I like audio. I play in the band. That's kind of like my bag as far as like understanding music and hearing the different parts, but just listening to the score and like how they arranged everything, it makes the world so vibrant. And again, I like open world games, but sometimes I don't want to go find every single thing. But in this world, like I found a castle somewhere and I spent like 2 hours there, and I was like, man, I gotta get back to the game, get back to the main story. But I found a castle. I think I had to kill like 5 samurai, and then I had to find the treasure and then get to the top so I can like do the lookout tower thing. But doing all that was like, it didn't feel like busy work in this game. Sometimes in Assassin's Creed game it does, but in this game it didn't feel like busy work. It felt like actual immersion. So Nug, this one's kind of for you because I saw you tweet about this. Ubisoft's in some sort of redemption arc right now. The public doesn't necessarily like every game they put out. Assassin's Creed, it still ranks highly, but people are a little bit weird about the more recent Assassin's Creeds. And every time Ubisoft drops a game, people are calling it trash before they even play it. So do you think that this game was more of a redemption for Ubisoft, or are they still kind of, Ubisoft?
I've said many times in my own reviews and on social media, this game doesn't really try to reinvent the wheel. This isn't, their God of War 2018 moment where they just completely flip script and do something way off left field. This game is more like a tweak of an already built formula. So if you're somebody who was already burnt out on Assassin's Creed, this may or may not do it for you. But if you're someone like us who's, a fan of the series here and there, this is a great refresh. And that's kind of, I think, the best way to put it. It's definitely a step in the right direction. I don't know if it's a turning point, but I think it's a step in the right direction because they finally took out some of the bloat that was Valhalla, and they kind of condensed it down with this game.
I for sure say it is a turning point, and I only say that because they starting to listen more to the fan base now. Like Nug just said, they cut out a lot of the extra access that we got in Valhalla or in Origins or whatever game you played, and either cut it out or they added to it and made it better than what it was. I feel like listening to the community as far as like with Japan, that's a turning point in itself. Like y'all actually listening to us now. Y'all not just keep doing the same thing over and over again. You feel me? So with that, I feel like we stepped in the right direction, but is it an overall, redemption? No, I don't feel like it's a redemption because you got to sit here and think about Valhalla still sold what, a few million? $1 million or something like that. Origins did too.
That's like a bill.
Yeah, so it's like it's not a redemption.
They never fell off.
They never fell off. Y'all just hated more. because somebody's black. That's really what happened.
I think really what happens with the community is a lot of people have what I call a Ubisoft tax, where anytime they drop something, it's way more kind of harshly, I guess, criticized. Yeah, it's way more nitpicked. And some of that is Ubisoft's fault because they did flood the market with annual releases, sometimes 2 releases, and people got burnt out on it. But I feel like now we're in this place where people don't know how to kind of step back and say, okay, you know, in the past, I might have been burnt out, or in the past, I felt this way, but now we're moving forward. And so they're still kind of holding them to standards. Like a lot of people will see an Outpost or see certain things in Ubisoft games like, oh, here we go, same old thing. And it's like, I mean, that's still their identity, but we can't acknowledge they have tried to tweak it. They're not going to change their identity, but they can, you know, sort of maybe kind of retool.
They got trust issues, bro. Y'all can't be sitting here. Y'all can't be sitting here buying the same game and still be upset with Ubisoft. Y'all gotta let them, you know, gotta forgive and forget, and then move past it. If y'all don't do that, y'all gonna be like everybody else. That's what y'all call them, grifters. Y'all gonna be like them.
I do think there's like I feel like a lot of times you have to kind of take it for what it is with these type of games. Like I've seen people complain like, oh, some of the quests were repetitive. Oh, it was just a lot of killing, or oh, and it's just like,
that's
well,
Assassin's Creed.
Any gameplay, that's any game. Any game has like a gameplay loop, and you either like it or you don't. So with this one, don't go in thinking, oh my God, they're gonna just somehow turn into Dragon Age or somehow turn into some completely different thing. It's still Assassin's Creed, just Assassin's Creed with a very nice coat of paint on it.
I think that for me, when I look at it and I see people's perception and when they start like hating on the game before they've even played it, I mean, people had the game a week early, dropped their reviews 2 days early, and people like, this game is trash. And it's like, there's no way you play the game. And so that's where I get frustrated. I understand Ubisoft has a reputation, and I'm not gonna act like there's some mistrust there with the community, but I'm also not gonna sit here and say that every single thing they put. I love Prince of Persia, the Metroidvania one they did. I love that game. That wasn't for everybody, but I'm really excited that they went outside the box, especially as a bigger publisher, and did something that indie games typically do and like do very, very well, but they put like a AAA coat of paint on it. So I really appreciated that.
Not to get off topic, but even on that though, it's like they did something completely different with Prince of Persia, but Prince of Persia didn't sell nearly as well as they wanted it to, versus Valhalla and Origins are doing $1 billion in revenue and then 250 mil. So it's like people are complaining, but that money still talks. And that's why we see not a huge change in Assassin's Creed, because it's still one of their cash cows. They're still wildly successful.
Definitely. It's really hard to change Assassin's Creed, because you know that any change you do to Assassin's Creed is gonna like really mess with your bottom line. If you make a change and you want to experiment and it's not a good change and we don't like it and we tell people not to play it, that still accounts for a large chunk of the revenue. They don't want to mess with that. You're right. You're absolutely right. That actually ties into the next question when we talk about the gameplay and the innovation. Were any of the changes meaningful to you? The dual protagonists, I think we've seen that before. The setting, cutting down the bloat, those things. Was any of that meaningful to you in your experience, or did you say it's still Assassin's Creed?
Man, for me, hell yeah, bro. When it came to Valhalla, like, we gonna keep referencing that because that had too much extra shit, bro. When I'm running around through the snow for what feels like 30, 45 minutes, I'm tired. I'm sleepy. I don't want to do it no more. I'm sick of it. But now, when you go to feudal Japan, yeah, you're running through the same, I guess, quote unquote, the same amount of space or the same map or whatever. But it's filled with so much scenery or so much environmental things that it's gonna make you feel like you in Japan, literally. I know it's me. I love anime. So the fact that I get to be in Japan from a different time period, I get to appreciate that and just that type of culture. I'm like, oh shit. When it come to Vikings, I don't care about Norse mythology or Norse nothing like that. So I don't want to visit that. And when it comes to just, I guess, more immersive and different, you know, combat system, having dual protagonists where you actually get to swap whenever you want to, get to play pretty much any quest you want to with whoever you want, whenever you want, that's fire, because you don't have to do the traditional Assassin's Creed way with now where you get to go and now do an RPG with a black samurai. That's fire, because now you don't have to worry about, oh, I got to be sneaky, I got to be stealthy, I got to throw kunais, I got to do something specific to Assassin's Creed. No, I can go through, run somebody over, kick them, I could do a bunch of different things now, and that's more speaking to the RPG aspect. It's not just Assassin's Creed no more. It feels like two totally different games, which I could appreciate.
When it comes to being able to play a game the way I want to play a game, I'm not that good at stealth. Like, I liked it in Spider-Man because it's Spider-Man. I liked it in this game, that game. I liked it in Pokemon Legends Arceus because it was like a main draw of the game itself, sneaking around, catching. So like, stealth is okay, but typically I do like to run in and gun, and I will build an entire build. If I'm playing RPG, I'll build my entire build on, can I go in and kick ass? And so the fact that you have Yasuke who can do that, because right now, or not right now, but like in the beginning, you will play a lot of is Naoe, so you'll be doing a lot of that stealthy stuff. But then you switch to Yasuke, and you're like, all right, cool, I can run and gun. That's what I like, and that's what I appreciate, giving you the option when typically in the past they didn't necessarily do that.
So for me, what stood out, just to kind of piggyback what everybody else is saying, dual protagonists. And it felt, this is not the first time they've done it. They did it with Syndicate with the twins, but this is the first time where it actually felt like two protagonists because the twins were very similar. This game to me is like a good, it's like you brought up Spider-Man. So I know in Spider-Man, like they have the stealth missions where it's like, okay, this is a nice change of pace. I feel like this is the opposite, where it's like stealth and then a great change of pace with Yasuke and just kind of being able to go just balls out and wreck shit. It's really fun. As far as the stealth aspect, I feel like it was, I don't want to say more of the same, but it wasn't nothing, you know, too crazy. I do like that they added some really cool parkour systems with Naoe, and she kind of moves in a way that's really like flippy, and she's more agile,
smoother than any other assassin that we played. I'm gonna keep it up.
Yeah, she is. She, like, her extra movements are really smooth. I think Unity is the one in France that had the really smooth parkour, so she's more like in that type of bag. But one thing that kind of stood out to me is like there's a certain way that when you get certain assassins or certain animations with Naoe, the screen turns like gray, blackish, like an anime cartoon. That is really nice to me. That's something that kind of stood out. So like, you'll find that when you play this game or watch people play this game, at its core, it's Assassin's Creed, but there's like little small details that really make you say, okay, they're actually trying. They're really trying to do some really fun things here.
Them adding prone was crazy to me because you never got to go prone as an assassin, and now that led to different assassination techniques. You get to do assassinate in the water. Like, it's I'm jumping out the water like Jason now.
I forgot about the water.
Bro, it's so many different things that you just gotta try and test out.
I will say the one thing, if I had to pick just one thing that really surprised me out of this entire experience, was the music.
Bro,
there's some great
good music, bro. That's what I was saying. There's some good music.
There's some great music selections. There's some surprises in that I won't spoil, but I touched on this in my review as well. Like, they had some music sections that made me just damn near wanted to dance. Like, there was a lot of fun things going on with the music. And typically with the music in the game, I'm just like, whatever is what it is. If it's great. If it's not great, whatever. But this time I was like, okay, this is who's over the music in this. So I gotta go through the credits and see who was over the sound design, because they absolutely wrecked it.
All right, so Assassin's Creed Shadows came out and it's sitting at an 81 right now. So to me, an 81 is pretty good. It's really hard to get into the 80s. There are some games that like launch with like a 90 and then they got like a 3 out of 5 or maybe something, a 4 out of 5, and drop like 5 points. So getting an 81 is pretty good. I know a lot of people don't want to act like that. It's good, you know, game of the year, it's got to be in the 90s, etc., etc. That's damn near impossible. 81 is still a great score. It's generally favorable. Do you think that this saves Ubisoft? Do we look at Ubisoft now and say, okay, we trust y'all, give us some more bangers, let's move on?
To me, I don't feel like faith was ever lost. Like Kate, I said, like, faith was never lost. I think sometimes we have to watch out for what I call the loud minority. A lot of the people who are on social media talking are saying these things. Like, I've seen several comments in my videos and others' videos. Ubisoft is dying. I'm so glad this game isn't doing well. Blah, 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 blah. See numbers. And it's like, people are saying this stuff, but Ubisoft is still up there to me with the big dogs. They're still up there with Insomniac. They're still up there with Call of Duty. They're still up there with Rockstar. They're still one of the big boys who can hang. I think personally, they never lost faith. I think this is not going to affect their bottom line one way or the other. I don't think people will truly lose faith until they start putting out games that are like 40, 50, 60 in Metacritic. I feel like 70, 80 is still very good. I think the problem with Ubisoft is they put out so many games, people got tired. But I don't really hear people say they have bad games. It's just like they have okay games and they keep flooding the market every damn year with so many.
When we look at games like Outlaws and how people responded to that, we saw, when I think of Ubisoft, I do think of the stealth mechanics and how they kind of even invented that bag. Like, I won't say they did, because obviously stealth has been a part of gaming for a while, but they mastered that bag with Assassin's Creed. So when I think of them, that's what I think. And then we had like games like Outlaws that Ubisoft tried to apply their formula to a Star Wars game, and I thought it was creative, but it didn't get the best reception. So that's why I'm thinking like people may have lost faith. I mean, talking to my homeboys who aren't necessarily gaming creators, talking to them and them saying like, I don't know, man, it's an Ubisoft game, I don't know what to expect, things like that. So that's kind of where I was going with like, are they gonna get their reputation back? Because when I talked on the phone to the same homeboy and I said, hey, Shadows is it? He said, yeah, man, I'm liking it, you know? So it's a very interesting dynamic how every year that can change, especially with the big third-party developers, because when it's first party, people are going to hype it up depending on whatever their favorite or preferred platform is. Like, Nintendo is rarely going to make a really, really, really bad game, and even their really, really bad game, Princess Peach Showtime, got like a 70 something on Metacritic. It's still like a decent game, you know what I mean? So
that's how I feel with Ubisoft. I feel like Ubisoft really makes a bad game. Like, even the one everyone hated, quote unquote, Outlaws was still pretty favorably received. It was like, it's not bad, it's not great, it's just okay. It was like winning the 70s as well. I think they're in that same boat. I think they're just now in that boat of people gonna complain, but we still gonna buy, because the numbers are showing that no matter how much we say we're tired of it, they keep raking in money hand over fist. So it's hard for me to just look at them as like being gone or back. Like, it's like a Call of Duty type of thing for me. It's like we say COD is back or COD is gone, but we still buying it. So it's like,
bro, my thing on it, C's get degrees. Half of y'all graduated high school with a C average or graduated college like 70s, and y'all tripping about an 80. Kobe dropped 81 and it's forever memorized in goddamn basketball, and y'all tripping over 81. It's really, did it restore the faith? Like, it's not, the faith wasn't lost. Y'all listen to all the negativity because that's how the world goes around right now, and y'all focused on the wrong thing. Half of y'all didn't even play the game when me and Nug was reviewing the game on the 18th, talking about, oh, this game trash. How do you know? First of all, you broke and probably didn't pay it. 2, you ain't got it yet. 3, it's not even out yet, so there's no way you can figure it out unless you listen to some bigot telling you some trash right now. Like they just said before, the game been cooking. The game's been cooking. Whether you like a 70 or an 80, that's still up there. There's not too many games that can match with that. They've been dropping consistent games, and I feel like if you drop a 70 or 80, you might get a 60 every now and again. But guess what? You still got that degree. You still passed. You still out there with a diploma. So I don't know why people are so fixated on, you know, it being 81 or wanting to be so hateful. But the reputation been there though.
You have to just kind of play things for yourself and try things for yourself, and keep in mind too that reviews aren't end all be all, because how many times do you go to a restaurant or somewhere and have a great experience and say, oh, let me leave a review, right? How many times you go somewhere and have a bad experience and leave a review or talk to the manager? People are more likely to complain and put things out there than they are to say something really good. So you have to keep in mind there are so many people who are loving this game and really had a great time, but they never put out reviews because they might not be on the internet. So you have to just take with a grain of salt that the internet is just the internet. That's just a small portion of who's actually enjoying this.
Yeah. And another thing is that even we as creators, some people are even afraid to tell their audience that, to like go check out other reviews, because it's like, if I tell people not to trust reviews, I'm out the job. That's not necessarily what's going to happen. It's just that people will begin to take, they won't take what you're saying as gospel as much as they'll take what you're saying and say, okay, I understand his perspective. If my values and how I play games aligns with this guy, then I'll probably like this game just as much as he did. And that's all we're trying to do when we give you guys a review. It's just, hey, this is what I liked about it, and here's how I like my games, and they did the things I like, so I'm going to give it an A, B, C, whatever. And if it's bad, we'll say it's bad. And if things are objectively bad, like, I remember I loved, what was that game? Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I love Jedi Survivor, but it had so many bugs at launch, I couldn't recommend it. I was like, you have to wait. It was a great game. I literally cried playing that game. I love that game, but I can't recommend it to someone because the general public ain't got the patience I got to sit through all those bugs and restart their PS5 and this, that, and the other. So, you know, when we make a review, it's, hey, this is what we like, and this is what the game does well. please check it out for yourself. If you can't, watch someone play it. You know, K-Dot streamed it on Twitch. I streamed a little bit of it. Nug's about to get back in the streaming bag. So you will see people play those games. You can kind of understand their experience and ask questions live and things like that.
If y'all ain't like Assassin's Creed in the first hour, then okay, I'll let y'all talk. I'll let y'all say whatever y'all got to. But that first hour of gameplay, if you not locked in, if you don't love that game, you don't like gaming, bro. I'm gonna keep it a buck. But if that's your opinion, that's your opinion.
I ain't gonna lie. I feel like you're not wrong. You are not wrong. But I still think you got to put in more than just an hour.
I'm saying, if that first hour don't get you hooked to the point where it make you want to play the next 10, 15, then you, then you just tripping. I'm not saying like the first hour, then you should be sold on it. But that first hour should make you be like, this is a good game. I like it. Because it gives you a little bit of everything. It gives you Yasuke, so you see that RPG. Then it gives you, now what, you see that side. It gives you a great story. It gives you great music. So now, if you're not feeling it, you need to play that. You need to stop playing games. But if you feeling it, that next 10 to 15, you gonna be beady-eyed, salivating, and loving it at that point.
No cap, bro. I would say story-wise, no other Assassin's Creed has quite hooked me like this in a long time, bro. Like I'm in the loud minority because I love the Desmond Miles stuff. So like once they killed off Desmond Miles, I was just like, it just felt like we were just being thrown in the animus. It didn't hit the same. But this in-game story is really, it's like a movie. I've been telling everybody. I know it sounds so cliche.
It's very cinematic, very cinematic.
It all makes sense. And as you're playing the game, it's like the way they throw in the different cutscenes and different things. It's like you can tell that time is passing. And that's all I'll say on that. You can just kind of, they make it to where you're playing as time is really passing. So it's not like, oh, in the game, 10 years, 25 years went by, I only played for 30 minutes, how some games are. It's like, okay, I feel like I'm grinding and building up my character right now, and the cutscenes confirm it.
So there you have it, everybody. Go check out Assassin's Creed Shadows if you can. If you can't, watch someone play it. It's a good time. K-Dot, tell everybody where they can find you.
Man, you can follow me and find me everywhere at K-Dot the God. It's DAGAWD. No disrespect to DOD above. And it's not K-Dot the dog. Please don't come to me saying that. But I'm on Twitch, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm on YouTube, I'm on every platform that you can think of that where content should be, I'm there.
And Nug, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on all platforms at YoNug Gaming. I'm most active on Twitter. So if you ever want to talk to me directly, Twitter is the best place that you can reach me. I'm also super active on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok as well.
And you guys know where you can find me right here at Sayaran Gaming, Sayaran everywhere else. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff, and I'll catch you for the next one. Peace.